All right. Hey, everybody. I just wanted to hop on here today to talk to you guys about a pretty big match that's coming up here in Montana between the Destroyer Chuck Young and the Torque Wrench Logan Anderson. So, for anyone who doesn't know, Joshua Wilson, the promoter of the Armbender, created a ranking system a few months ago where basically he grabbed a captain from each of the major teams here in Montana or clubs, and they just kind of loosely ranked everyone, just based off of past performances and whatnot. And so we do have like a loose ranking system, but there's been some movement. People have already been challenging each other quite a bit. And this weekend, there is a big get together in Great Falls. And one of the matches, the one I just mentioned, is for the number one left hand spot in Montana. So it's a pretty big deal. Now, the competitors are like very, very different. So the Destroyer, he's been, pulling forever since the WAL days. And had a lot of success, lots of wins on big names. Logan, he's a lot newer. His experience in competition isn't, very high. I don't know how many total tournaments or super matches he has, but it's pretty limited. I'm not going to put a number because I don't know for sure, but the experience gap is just absolutely massive. Chuck might be pulling for 2 decades or more, or maybe a little under. But he's got tons of experience, and Chuck has just been on absolute tear. Earlier this year, he took a tough loss to a world champion, Jack Cerveja, and he did make him work very hard. And I believe he even got a pin on him, if I remember correctly. I was commentating at that event, the My Bloody Valentine, and at the Helena Civic Center. And I think Chuck took that loss, not necessarily tough, but I think that he believed that if he was there at the best he could be, that he should have won that match, and he could have won that match. And ever since then, he's just bared down, and he's, whatever he's doing for training or preparation, it's just been working because he's just been going everywhere and just pretty much beating everybody. His win rate is absolutely insane, and the people he's losing to are some of the biggest names there are. So there's nothing to take away from him whatsoever. Logan, he had an injury back in 2022, I believe, to his left elbow. That was pretty severe. So that took him out of the game for quite a while, about a year and a half, I think. And then earlier this year, he had a win at the Armbender against Levi, which I think, you know, um, instilled a lot of confidence back into him. It made him feel really good about pulling again. And he's just been super passionate, super, hardworking. Made a lot of improvements this year that I think he's definitely going to need to beat Chuck, because again, Chuck with all that momentum, and he's as good as I've ever seen him. I don't know if he's at his absolute all-time best, but he very well could be, just because he's just so insanely good right now. And but Logan is like Montana's like secret hidden monster. He's just a giant monster of a man. He's built different. Like, he's just, his bones, his structure, his hand, his wrist, his form, like it's all just thick as a tree. So he has all the tools he needs to basically beat, anybody. It's just like a matter of him building those arm wrestling specific strengths, which, he already was pretty, even when he was new, he was crushing people he should have had no business crushing. And so this is going to be his first really big test. And, he has a really big match coming up at the next arm bender. And, Chuck got a win on his opponent. And so this will be a really good way for Logan to test the waters and, assess where he's at, if he needs to work on anything, or if he gets the win, then he knows he just needs to keep doing what he's doing. Now, in terms of what I think of the match, I'm going to have to give the edge to Chuck. I love Logan. He's like the nicest guy. He always comes up and greets me and talks to me and hangs out with me. But just objectively speaking, just based off of all Chuck's experience, all the momentum he has behind him, and just how good he is right now, I have to give the edge to Chuck. And Logan, I think he does have the tools. I think he has the raw power. I think he has the strength. It's just a matter of if he can navigate that setup and get what he wants, because the thing that I think that this match is going to be decided on is going to be completely in the setup. Chuck is one of the hardest people to grip up with. He's extremely particular. I shouldn't say particular. That's not the right word. What I would actually say is that, he is dedicated to getting what he needs in order to start that match in a way that he's happy. And he will walk away. He will just make you work and work to get that grip because he's going to get the best grip he can get. And even if he gets the grip he's going to get, then he's going to start working on taking away what you want. And, but one thing I did see Logan improve a lot on, because before, Logan just has such a big, strong, powerful hand. He kinda just put his hand down and he was, like, letting people grab him however they wanted and then just working, and most of the time, he was just strong enough to just, work through it, and it didn't really matter. But Chuck's not one of those guys. You can't just let him get whatever he wants and take away what you want. He's way too good for that. So, I'm happy to see that Logan is fighting for that setup. He's making sure he gets his favorable hand position and denying people from getting where he doesn't want them to go and where he knows they shouldn't be. And that's going to be key. And I think Logan, if he wants to win, he's going to have to be willing to sacrifice some stamina and some energy in the setup in order to really make sure he's happy with his grip. And if he doesn't feel like he can get it or navigate it, then just being patient and being calm and being okay with it going to the ref script, which I think should be the plan, period, because Logan needs the straps, I think, for this match. Without the straps, I don't think Logan can beat him. If he gets a really, really good hand position, he can clamp down. He's got strong enough hands to maybe keep a hold of Chuck. But I don't see that working more than once anyway. So the absolute best bet for Logan is to get in the strap, because just again, like, if you guys haven't seen him, when you see this match, you'll just see that he is just built different. And when the strap goes on, it's just so, even if he's not fighting for and trying to get what he wants, which I know he knows how to do now, he's just built in a way where he's always going to get the strap. Like, it is just always going to be leveraged against him because his forearm is so big. Yeah. So really, I think that the only lane I see for Logan winning, personally, just from what I felt from pulling both of them and what I've seen from their recent performances and practice footage, I do think that the straps has to be the answer. But anyway, that's just my thoughts. If you guys disagree or if you think I'm missing something, let me know down below, and I'll catch you guys next time.